everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a food bank haul for you. This is their first haul of the month of June. And let me tell you, it was crazy there today at the food bank. It's Monday. A lot of people go there first day of the week to try and get all the food that they got donated from the grocery stores that normally would have gotten thrown away because it was expired. Now this is the one where you can go in and you can shop around and kind of pick what you want. They also have an option where you can grab and go, where they have it already in bags and you just get what you get. I like to shop those so I can leave stuff that my family's not going to use, and then we can pick up the stuff that we are going to use. So let's get into it and I'll show you what I got. I'm gonna start off with the bread. We got a loaf of sourdough here. Those look good, nice and thick. You can make French toast out of those, or just use them for sandwiches. Some nice brioche buns. I really like brioche. It's made with butter in the bread, so it's super delicious, you know. And then they had this loaf of bread. Those look like pumpkin seeds, or there's another name they go by. I can't think of it, but it doesn't have any kind of label. But I bet this is like a wheat pumpkin one. That looks pretty good. Lots of fruits and veggies today. They had a lot in the extra bin, so I got to pick some extra. I got half of a cantaloupe here, some nice sweet potatoes. Here's a nice bag of little potatoes there. All right, you guys, who knows what this is? What vegetable is this? I know what it is. Do you know what it is? Take a guess below. I'm going to tell you, but don't cheat. What is it? What is it? It's kohlrabi. Have you guys heard of kohlrabi? I grew this last year, and what I ended up doing it was adding it to my canned coleslaw mix, and it was really good. It's good pickled. You can saute it just like you would cabbage, except it's firm, so it's pretty cool. So I was able to get some of that, and this is locally grown. That they have a community garden where people from the food bank specifically grow fruits and veggies to donate to the food bank. And I think that is an awesome program that they have here in Montana. They got a 2-pound container of these mixed grape tomatoes. I'll be lucky if I can even make anything with that because my daughter will eat them. And then some broccoli and cauliflower. Have a nice side for your dinner. Just microwave it in the bag. I was able to pick 3 different types of pastas. They had this organic one from, I think they sell this at Costco. This one as well. So that looks really good. And then farfalle. Farfalle is so fun to pasta for the kids. You could do pasta salad or add it instead of a regular noodle to any kind of your cream-based pastas. For the dairy, I was able to get a gallon of whole milk from Kalispell Creamery. This is the one where the cream is on top, and you can actually see in here where that cream is. Oh, so good. Anytime they have this brand there, I try and grab it. They had this block of cheese, mango, and ginger. Interesting. I have to crack this open, see what it tastes like. Have you guys ever had any kind of cheese like this before? Sounds pretty good. And then I got a 4-pack of peach yogurts. These are great for my husband's lunch. He likes yogurt. Or one kid will eat all 4 of them, you know. Who knows? So we'll see. For the sweet treat, they had some Loft House cookies here. Chocolate dipped Easter cookies. My kids call it Easter Day cookies. They've already called dibs on those. But, you know, you got to make them work for it before they get their treat. And in the extra section, well, this was in the pantry goods, the diced fire roasted tomatoes. I grabbed that. You guys, they had absolutely 0 beans this week. Weird. Everybody's stocking up on their beans. Just a couple of different drinks here. Ginger root beer, and there's Rebel Blackberry. I've never seen that kind of drink before. Any of you guys drink this? Looks pretty cool. They had a bag of popcorn. This is actually the popcorn that we buy whenever we go to Winco. I like to get the tricolor. My kids have popcorn at least every other day. They love popcorn and it's a good treat, so I'm pretty stocked up on that. And you know, I love it when they have coffee. Oh, so good. That's a big bag too. Mama Baird's happy. Then they had this bean dip. I love bean dip. Bean dip. $9 or $10 for this, but I mean that's a lot of beans. That'll be good to eat. So I got that. This giant thing of pretzels. I hardly ever buy pretzels. We'll see what we do with these. If not, I'll just give them to the children. And now on to the meat. I was able to grab this beef chuck blade pot roast. This is a huge one. It's the 3.5 pounds, $7.99 a pound. So 28 bucks this was, and for free at the food bank. That's a nice, you can either make a roast with it, or I could cut this up and can it and just have some cooked beef on my shelf. Very versatile pot roasts are. They had some more Wagyu beef. This one is the petite steak. So that looks pretty good, a pound of steak. And more steak. This one is the beef rib steak, bone in, thin cut. All that marbling, all that deliciousness. So I was able to get that. $1.71, $17.49 a pound. These are one of those items that I would never be able to purchase on my own. Like, we are on a tight budget. We're trying to pay off our credit cards, save money to get a farm because right now we're renting. And something like this just would not be in our budget. I don't know when I would ever be able to afford 30 bucks for, 3 steaks. But this is an awesome find, and I'm very grateful for the food bank for offering these kind of items. And then we got a little pack of turkey breast here. We could either slice this up, or we can just dice it up, use it in a casserole or something like that. So that was a pretty good find. And then they had a little pack of frozen macaroni and cheese. This is a good thing for my mother-in-law. Whenever she watches the kids, she could just heat this up and add some hot dogs. Bam, quick lunch. Now that you saw everything that I received from the food bank today, I decided for dinner I'm going to be making up some fajitas. Those steak pack, I said it was 3 steaks, but it was actually only 2. And I decided that I am going to teach you guys how to stretch those steaks. So 2 steaks normally, 1 person each, get a steak, that's it. We are a family of 6. We really have to stretch and ration our meat so we can feed as many people as possible on as little amount of meat as possible. And this way you can have a high quality meat like this T-bone steak and have 6 people enjoy it without having to buy 6 steaks. So we're making some fajitas. So let's get into it, and I'll show you how I make fajitas for my family. All right, to start this off, I'm going to make my fajita seasoning. So I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of cumin to start, and then some chili powder. I have some chipotle chili powder here that I'm going to use. I'm just going to do 1 teaspoon because there's children's. And then I have some Korean chili flakes. If you would like this a little spicier, just use red pepper chili flakes, but I'm just gonna use these ones. These ones aren't quite as spicy. They're kind of like almost sweet. They have a good flavor to them. Onion powder, just a teaspoon of that. Teaspoon of garlic powder. And this is so much cheaper to make this yourself, guys, than to go out and try and buy one of those little seasoning packets, Most of this stuff you already have it in your house anyway. And some fresh pepper. That's literally all there is to it. And then, bam, homemade fajita mix. Now you can make a big batch of this and just keep it in your cupboard so you have it ready to go and you don't have to mix it up every time. Alright, so we're going to start there. Let me put my giant mess of spices away, and then I'll show you what we'll do next. Alrighty, so we're going to be slicing up some veggies. As you can see, I have an onion who has decided that it wants another life and has sprouted. If you have one of these in your kitchen cupboard or in your onion bag, don't fret, you can still use it. Like, it's still a solid good onion, We're just gonna cut that off. And then this is going, I have my scrap bag where I save all my onion peels, my bell pepper cores and tops, and then carrot peels I will put in there. So whatever kind of kitchen scraps, see, look, it's perfectly good on the inside. So don't be afraid if you see one growing like that. Don't throw it out. You can still use it. It just needs to be used sooner rather than later. But any of your onions or any of your kitchen scraps you can put in here, and then this is what I use to make my bone broth. If you guys don't know how to make your own bone broth, I did a video on that with a turkey broth. I can link that below. So I'm just gonna cut this in half. Remember, whenever you're holding a knife, you wanna make sure you pinch it. You can either pinch it up here on the blade, pinch it down here, but you don't wanna have your finger on here like this, because that makes it really kind of wobbly, whereas if you pinch it, it goes where you tell it to go, not where it decides it wants to go. So hand pinched on the blade, and then you want the claw, not the claw, and you want to tuck those tips in, because otherwise you shoot and there goes your finger. But if you tuck it in, shing, all it does is touch your knuckle, it goes right down. So that's what you're going to use as your guide for slicing. And then this little guy goes in my scrap bin. There's my onions. So I'm going to do 1 onion. Now, it's tempted to go and be super cool and be one of those super fast chefs that can dice really fast, but seriously guys, take your time, go slow. Accuracy is more important than speed. The more accurate you are, then eventually the faster you will get. So don't try and go super fast and show off, you'll just hurt yourselves. Trust me, I know. I've been cutting and slicing and dicing for a long time, and I still go super slow because I know myself and I don't want to nip the finger, you know what I'm saying? Mama Bear did cut herself many a times. Alright, so what I did, I just cut in half, took the guts, put it in my bag, and then we're just going to slice this pepper up. Normally, I would like a couple of different colored peppers for this. I only have 1 yellow pepper though, so that's what it gets. You guys don't have to feel the need to go out and buy all the ingredients for a recipe. Just use what you have. That's what pantry cooking is all about. Save money, use what you have, be creative, think of substitutes, and that's it. And then I have a pack here of some already sliced mushrooms, so I'm going to use those, probably half of these. Yeah, so that's a good amount of veggies there. And then we'll bring this over to the stove and get her cooking. Okay, I got my cast iron skillet going on a high heat just to get her warmed up. For the oil, usually I would do like an olive oil or an avocado oil. I happen to have a pot here of leftover fry oil where I did some zucchini. So I'm just gonna take a couple tablespoons of that and use this oil. Because I don't want to throw it out, it's still good, but I don't know if I'm gonna be frying anymore. So we're gonna use that oil to save ourselves some product and stretch our oil for as far as we can. I don't normally fry much in the house. I don't know why, I just don't like having a big pot of oil frying, but all those fried zucchini sure were good. All right, so we got our pan heating up with our oil. Let's go ahead and just toss all of our veggies in there. And we'll get them sauteing. Okay, while that is sauteing, let's get over here and slice our steak. So I have one of those ribeye steaks that were in the package here. Now over here is where the bone is. So I'm just going to cut along the bone, cut that out. Now I'm not throwing this bone away. I'm going to put this in my freezer with other beef bones for when I make my beef stock. This will add a delicious amount of flavor to it. So this is going into our bag of beef bones. But for now, slice this up. I'm just going to do thin strips. Usually with fajitas, you use a tougher cut of meat, like a flank steak or something. But, like I said, we have this high quality T-bone, and I want the whole family to be able to enjoy it. So I'm gonna utilize it for fajitas. And there we go. There's our bone, we don't need that, and our steak. So we're just gonna let this rest, and we'll go finish up our veggies. In case you're wondering what's going on in my oven, A friend of mine gave me these Himalayan foot salt blocks. Supposed to bring out the toxins from your feet. I mean, I don't know about all that Himalayan salt, if it really detoxes. I don't know, what do you guys think? But one of my twins, Gideon, he is super tiny and he's always cold, and he is in love with the idea of putting cold feet on a warm salt block. So we're heating those up for him. Spoiled children. Okay, we're going to add about half of our fajita mix here. We'll save the other half for our steaks. And give this just a couple minutes. It takes probably about, I don't know, 7 to 9 minutes or so, depending on how you like your veggies done. Alright, veggies are looking pretty good. So I'm going to take these out and then throw my meat in. No need to clean your pan. We're just going to dirty her anyway. So we're going to do the whole switcheroo. Alright, we got our meat on. And now we're going to throw the rest of our seasoning on there. And this is not going to take very long at all to heat up. I'm going to go ahead and do a little more of my leftover fry grease oil. I really need to get that strained out in a container, so I'm not taking it from my pot. And then I'll get my pot back. You know, everybody wants their pot back. You know what I'm saying? Alright, we're going to let this puppy cook. Got my helper on lime squeezing duty. Gotta put them kids to work, people. They're a little old, so they may not. Let's see, Goosey. Squish her, squish her, squish her. Very nice. Alright, let's see that. Get all that juice out of it? Oh yeah, it looks good. So you looking for the main squeeze in your life? Well, I'm your girl. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and press that darn bell. You'll know every time I post a video. Alright, let's get back to squeezing. So our steak's looking pretty good. I've got it about a medium here. I'm gonna go ahead and add my veggies back in. Get all that juice in there. And then you can see there's a lot of goodness on the bottom of this pan here. So in order to deglaze it, we're gonna add our fresh squeezed lime juice, just to kind of add a little bit of zip, a little bit of zap, a little bit of thing, you know. We want a little bit of sweet, a little sour. And that's it, folks. Now we have super yummy, delicious, and pantry loving fajitas. Alright, now that all that is done, I'm just going to push this off my heat, and I'm going to heat up the tortillas just here on my burner. Steak, I got just a whole wheat tortilla here. Plop it right on there. Move it around a little bit. You can see where it's kind of scorching. You can see it bubbling a little bit. That's how you know it's getting warm. Now, if you need to use tongs, you can use tongs. Mama Bear, she got fingers of fire, you know what I'm saying? Been doing this a minute. So just till it's nice and warm, on the plate. Alright, to assemble one of these bad boys, just gonna put some of my meat, some of my peppers. Make sure we get some of the mushrooms in there. And then I just got some fajita fixings here. I got a little bit of feta cheese, just that I have left over. Thought that would be good on it. Now, feta cheese normally does not go on fajitas, but remember, this is pantry cooking. We're using what we have. So feta cheese, a little bit of sour cream in there, or a lot of bit of sour cream. This is spicy guacamole, so this is gonna be for Mama Bear. You know Mama Bear likes it spicy. Then I have some salsa here that I actually got in one of the kids' lunches. A little bit of that in there. And there we go. That's our fajita. Do that. And then I'm going to use some of the bean dip I just got at the food bank for a side. Just like that.
It has beans in it.
And that's dinner. Alright everybody, that's what's for dinner. I appreciate all of you for watching and for following me along on my journey, seeing what I do at the food bank. If you have any ideas of what you like to do at the food bank, any foods that you like to make, list them below. As for me, I'm gonna be eating. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's. So guys, I was just thinking, I actually just took that bean dip and put it on top and used it. So that's another way you can use that without actually having to have all the sides and have a nice doctored up fajita. Work smarter, not harder.